So guys, in this video, I'm going to be doing every Premier League club player of the years for the 2021-2022 season. I know what you're thinking. What? Man United as a player of the year? Yes, I'm saying the same thing. But this is my humble opinion at the end of the day, so let's get right into the video. He's been Arsenal player of the year. In my opinion, has been one guy, Bukayo Saka. With 18 contributions this season, he's been monumental to Arsenal. Arsenal really lacked in the striker position this year. Gabriel Martinelli, he's been more of a bench warmer. He's been coming off the bench. He's been come through a big ACL injury, if I'm not wrong. Alexander Lacazette has been struggling this season. He's finally gone back to Leon. Aubameyang, who left to Barcelona at January. So Arsenal have been struggling in the striker position. And to get 18 contributions with 11 goals and 7 assists, it is very important, because without that, Arsenal could not make the push for top 4 as long as they did. And I feel like Saka is a very important player and very important role. And I feel like he's going to be one of the Arsenal legends in the future. Yes, there's Man City going for him. You might want to go to Man City, and there's a reason why Man City want to spend the money which they're willing to spend on Bukayo Saka, and that's why he's my Arsenal player of the year. So guys, let's move on to Aston Villa. Who's been the Aston Villa player of the year? For me, it's been Matty Cash. Matty Cash has been unreal from the right back position this year, with 4 goals, 3 assists and 220 interceptions in the league. And I feel like with Matty Cash, he's recently got his call up for Poland and he deserved it. I feel like Aston Villa have not been the best team this season. Yes, they got 100 million from Jack Grealish, but they haven't spent that well. They spent the money on Danny Ings, who's been pretty injury prone this season. Leon Bailey, who doesn't even get into the first 11 right now. Philippe Coutinho is a good signing, but he's only come a bit late. So it hasn't been a good season for Aston Villa. But even during this bad season, I feel like Matty Cash has been unreal for Aston Villa. And I feel like from the right back position, the Premier League needs a right back. So if he goes and carry on performing how he did this season, I feel like he can get a big move to the top 6 clubs. Because Man United need a right back. I know Tottenham will eventually need a right back. Arsenal need a right back. Every top 6 club need a right back. And he's the most versatile. He can go up the pitch. He's very fast. He covers really well. So in my opinion, that's why Matty Cash deserves to be the Aston Villa player of the year. So guys, let's move on to Brentford. With Brentford, my player of the year has to be Christian Norgard. Number 1 in the league for tackles and top 5 in for successful tackles. And this man has been a great signing. I believe he came from Norwich City, if I'm not wrong. Yes, I might get slated in the comments, I might have got it wrong. But he's been so pivotal for that for the holding midfield of Brentford. Without him, I don't know where Brentford would be in the league. Yes, Ivan Toney could be up there. Momembo has been pretty decent this season. But no one's been come too close to Christian Norgard in the league. Number 1 in tackles, over the likes of Rodri, Fabinho. He can really shows where Christian Norgard is. And yes, he's not the fastest player, but he knows how to use his body. He knows how to tackle the ball. He knows timing. He's very fast. He's quick. He's not fast. He's quick reactions. So that's why he deserves to be my player of the year for Brentford. And I feel like if Brentford keep him, they could actually next year go get top 10 and even grab a Europa League position. But you never know. This summer, there's a lot of teams which need a box-to-box CDM, a guy who's good as Christian Norgard, so it's going to be difficult to keep him. So guys, let's move on to Brighton. Who's Brighton's player of the year? It's a Spanish left-back who recently signed for Barcelona, and his name is Keller. And with the 4 small tackles in the league, I feel like he's been one of Brighton's player of the year. Brighton were going through a bad spell of form before the international break, but after that, Keller, a very versatile player, has actually helped them throughout the season. Yes, even through the bad stages, every player was bad. But even then, I feel like having the 4th most tackles in the Premier League is not easy. And coming from left back, that's even harder. He's so versatile. Sometimes he can play left centre back, he can play left back. He's very good at attacking and coming back. Remember the goal which he scored against Man United, his first goal for Brighton. Yes, he hasn't been the scoring machine or the assisting machine which everyone expected, but it's been his first season, and even then, with the 4th most tackles, he's done what a defender's job needs to do. And that's why Keller is my Brighton player of the year. Yeah, who's been Burnley player of the year? This is a difficult one for a team which has got recently relegated. But in my opinion, it has to be Nick Pope. With a save percentage of 72%, I feel like this is unreal. Yes, Burnley haven't been the best team. Yes, he's conceded a lot of goals. But I feel like they could have conceded way more goals without Nick Pope. And with Nick Pope, you know that he ain't going to stay in Burnley because he's a Premier League player. And he's going to get a big move to a Premier League club. And I know he's going to get that. That's why he's one of England's top 3 goalkeepers. Yes, Pickford and Ramsey are there. But Nick Pope was in that pot just a couple of years ago, and I still think he's going to get a call up for England, and I feel like he deserves to get a call up. Yes, everyone thinks because Burnley conceded a lot of goals that he wasn't good, but with the percentage save ratio of 72%, you have to say he's done well. And that's why he's my Burnley player of the year. So guys, let's move on to Chelsea. And Chelsea's player of the year is Mason Mount. With 10 goals and 10 assists, with 20 contributions this season, and playing 53 games more than any other Chelsea player, he deserves to be Chelsea player of the year. And I don't know why everyone has slander of Mason Mount. How do you not make it to this year's PFA team of the season? How did Thiago get over Mason Mount? Mason Mount's been a vital part of Chelsea for the last 3 years. This season to get in 2 finals, yes, they lost to Liverpool in both final, but at the end of the day, he does have a bad record at Wembley. But even then, to have 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 contributions this season from a cam position is unreal. We've seen Bruno Fernandes struggle. We've seen a lot of cam struggle this season. But Mason Mount is Mr. Reliable. And I don't know why Chelsea fans love him. I love him. But every other fans hate him. He's great for England. He's great at all times. And that's why he deserves to be Chelsea's player of the year. So guys, let's move to Crystal Palace, and there's only one player of the year for me, and that's Conor Gallagher. With 8 goals this season, he's been a pivotal role for Crystal Palace. When Patrick Vieira started, you could see he was struggling a bit, but Conor Gallagher just came into stride, and the way he dictates and owns the midfield and controls the midfield, and how comfortable he is on the ball, how he plays off to Wilfred Zaha, and one thing, Crystal Palace's strikers haven't been the best. Jordan Ayew and Christian Benteke haven't been the best, but no worries. Conor Gallagher has helped them this season, and it's sad that he's going back to Chelsea. I just want him to play at Chelsea, and there's a reason why Thomas Tuchel called him back. And you could see how when Crystal Palace went up to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-finals, when they didn't have him, you could see how much they struggled to just make chances, create chances, and you could see how pivotal he was during out the season, and that's why he's my player of the year for Crystal Palace. So guys, let's move on to Everton. Everton's player of the year has to be Richarlison. They were pretty bad this season, Everton, and I feel like Richarlison was only one of 3 players who were actually pretty decent. With 15 contributions, with 10 goals and 5 assists, I feel like he deserves it. And I feel like he came crucial in some of the games against Chelsea, against Leeds, against, I believe, who also was in Man United, where you got important goals. And I can't say much else about Richarlison. He did his job at the end of the day to an Everton team which was struggling and who were about to go down. And he just saved them. I can't give him any more phrases because literally most of the Everton team were pretty bad, but he was the best one. So that's why, by default, he got Everton's player of the year. So guys, let's move on to Leeds. And with Leeds, it was pretty difficult to find a lot of players who were pretty good. I feel like they had a pretty bad season, but one player stood out, and that was Rafinha. With 14 contributions this year, with 11 goals and 3 assists, I feel like he saved them. And in the game against Brentford, you could see how he tried to dictate the game in the last game of the season, and how he controlled, and he got, I believe, got 1 or 2 goals, which allowed Leeds to stay up. And if Leeds were going down, there was already talks that 25 million release clause, which he was going to see in the Premier League. He was quality. Barcelona were calling up for him, and that's the reason why I've given him my Leeds player of the year. So guys, let's move on to Leicester. Leicester didn't have the best season, but there was one man who stood out, and that was James Maddison. With 12 goals and 8 assists this season, with 20 goal contributions, I feel like he deserved it more than anyone. Whenever James Maddison's on the ball, you can see how good Leicester are. Yuri Tielemans didn't really turn up this season. He didn't turn up like as much as Leicester fans expected, but no worries, James Maddison's here. And when I ever see James Maddison play, he's so good on the ball. I don't know how he's not got England call up. And like, the Leicester team, as I said, weren't that good this season. Like, Jamie Vardy was injured. Daka wasn't that good. Iheanacho can't. This guy doesn't know positioning at all. But at the end of the day, James Maddison came and saved them, and they go all the way to a Conference League semi-final, which was really good in my opinion. And that's why James Maddison deserves to be Leicester's Premier League Player of the Year. So guys, let's move on to Liverpool, and there's only one man who's been the Player of the Year. That is the Egyptian god, Mo Salah. With 23 goals and 12 assists this season, what a man. With a conversion rate of 50.1%. Tell me which Premier League player has even better conversion than that. I think he played over 50 games over 4 competitions. Yes, he got a bit slow towards the end of the season, but even then, they won 2 cups. He was very pivotal in that. Yes, they were a bit unlucky not to win in the Champions League final where they dominated. But Mo Salah deserves it. A Golden Boot winner. I believe, did he get top assist or Trent got it? But he was very close to winning the assist award as well. And Mo Salah has just been unreal this season. And with that, if Liverpool didn't have him, yes, there's that Liverpool have a quality team, but this man takes Liverpool from here to our own new pedestal, and that's why he's my Liverpool Player of the Year. So guys, let's move on to Manchester City, and there only has to be one player, and his name is KDB. Kevin De Bruyne, what a man, with 15 goals and 8 assists this season. He's been a pivotal part for Man City's Premier League title reign. And he went to the last season, and you saw in the last game where how he fizzed the ball across towards Gundogan to get the winner, which made it 3-2. And with Kevin De Bruyne, the way he's so good on the ball, the way he takes touches, he's already thinking 3 steps ahead. And he's in the 99th percentile for the most touches in the opposition box and the most chances created in the opposition box. So you can see how pivotal he is. He's so good with his left foot, right foot, header. He's a perfect man to have. He has vision which no one has. And that's why he has to be the Premier League's Man City Player of the Year. And that's why he deserved to be even in the Team of the Season, the Premier League Team of the Year. Like, Kevin De Bruyne is a whole different gravy in my opinion. So guys, let's move to Man United. Who is Man United Player of the Year? I don't really want to give it to anyone, but if I had a gun pointed to my head, it has to be Cristiano Ronaldo. With 18 goals, 3 assists this season, he's been pretty good. He's been one of our better players, but even then he hasn't been good enough. I feel like this 18 goals and 3 assists is more fabricated. Like, it's come off teams which won the greatest? Against Norwich, against Watford, against Brentford, against just teams which weren't up to thing. If we look at thing against the top 6, it was poor. Even the top 10, it was poor. So that's why, but like regretfully, I have to give it to Ronaldo. Actually, I'm not being a big rude. Ronaldo probably saved us more than any other player for Man United. Without his 18 goals, I don't know where he would be, but even then, he wasn't good enough in my humble opinion. So that's why if I had to give it to someone, I gave it to Ronaldo. So guys, let's move on to Newcastle. Newcastle, I've gone with Joe Linton, and this could be a controversial opinion as for the Player of the Year, but let me explain why. Under Steve Bruce, he was lost. He didn't know where to go. He was attacking, but when he came to Eddie Howe, he became red Pie's night for him. But I believe there was one Newcastle midfielder who got red carded and he got put in that position. And guess what? We found Joe Linton's perfect position to be a box-to-box midfielder. And from that, he's been unreal for Newcastle. He stopped Arsenal. Okay, Newcastle have stopped Arsenal from getting top 4. And he was crucial in that game. We controlled that midfield going box-to-box. And they found the new position. Before Newcastle, he was struggling to find his ways. Which position was the right one? But under Eddie Howe, he's been given that position. And I feel like he's been the Player of the Year. There could be so many other players, but in my humble opinion, has to be Joe Linton. I could be wrong, but Joe Linton for Newcastle's Player of the Year. So guys, let's move on to Norwich. With Norwich, there wasn't that many great players to choose from. Like, only one player, in my opinion, I feel like did okay, even though got relegated, is Teemu Pukki. He got 11 goals, 3 assists. He got 14 contributions, and he got 50% of Norwich goals. So who else can you pick? Like, this guy did well. Like, this year Norwich struggled to score goals, and he was the goal scorer by a country mile. And if he didn't score the 11 goals and 3 assists, where would Norwich be? They probably got relegated even sooner than they did. So that's why, by default, I have to give it to Teemu Pukki, but overall the team wasn't great in my opinion. Let's move to Southampton, and there's only one man, and that's to be James Ward-Prowse for the Player of the Year. With 10 goals and 5 assists, with 15 contributions in all competition, I feel like he's been Southampton's best player by a country mile. Southampton were very poor after the international break. They got a number of losses, and they just didn't know what to do. And if James Ward-Prowse didn't save them in a couple of games, you never know, they could have been in a relegation battle. And James Ward-Prowse, yes, he's a free kick specialist. He's been banging goals. But if he gets a call up for England, why is not James Maddison? That's the only thing I'm saying. But this is not the roast of James Ward-Prowse. He's been great. And I would take him with England because he's a free kick specialist, a dead ball specialist. And with him, you could see that he scored most of Southampton's goals. And believe they were top 3 in most goals from free kicks. And he came from him because he was just scoring free kicks left, right and centre. The way the whippage he gets on the ball, and that's why he deserves to be Southampton's Player of the Year. Guys, let's move on to Tottenham Hotspur. And the Player of the Year has to be Son Heung-min. This man was absolutely crazy for Spurs this year. He went off with 23 goals and 7 assists with the accuracy of 70%. And this guy, what foot is Son Heung-min? Is he left foot? Is he right foot? No one knows. He's so ambidextrous that any foot he shoots, unreal. And he's been so pivotal for Tottenham's push on top 4. Yes, when Antonio Conte came, he absolutely revolutionized Son. And the way Son just got this confidence. And he scored 23 goals with no penalties. Yes, Mo Salah got the golden boot with him. But Mo Salah scored some penalties. And he didn't take one kick from the spot, and to get 23 goals, best ever Asian player by a country mile. Son deserves it more than anyone else for Tottenham this year, and this is why he's Tottenham's player of the year by a country mile. Let's move on to Watford. With Watford, it was pretty difficult to find a player of the year, but one man stood out more than anyone else, and his name was Emmanuel Dennis. With 10 goals and 6 assists, with 16 contributions in all competition, I believe he's probably Watford's best player. And it's hard to choose the best player from teams who haven't done well, like Burnley, Leeds, who else went down? Norwich, Watford. It's hard to find players. Man United is sometimes hard to find players from there. And Emmanuel Dennis has probably been the best one of all of them to get goals which when they really needed it and get them some crucial wins to kind of help them stay up. But at the end of the day, is so much you can do when your team is not, your defense is not that good, your centre is not that good. You go and sign a lot of players, but they don't really work out, and keep on changing managers, and that's what happened at Watford. But Emmanuel Dennis deserves my Watford Player of the Year. Guys, let's move to West Ham. For West Ham's Player of the Year, there only has to be one man and one man only. He's a CDM, he's English, and he goes from the name of Declan Rice. Like, Declan Rice this season has been unreal this season. I believe he has, 175 successful dribbles, which is top 2 in the Premier League. And look at how good he's been for West Ham this season. I feel like he's played in every club competition. They got all the way to the Europa League semi-finals against Eintracht Frankfurt, and where they lost. But even then, Eintracht Frankfurt was the one who went out there and won. And I feel like he's going to get the big move this summer. He wants to Chelsea. I feel like being at Chelsea, being friends with Mason Mount, it's always been a boyhood dream to play for Chelsea. But what he's done for West Ham has been unreal this season. Like, yes, he's going to go for 100 to 150 million, but that's the English tax at the end of the day. But he's quality. For England, he's quality. For all competitions, he's quality. He's so good on the ball. From last season to this season, how his transition on the ball, unfucking believable. And that's why he's West Ham's Player of the Year. So guys, let's move on to my Wolves Player of the Year. For me, it has to be Jose Sa. With 11 clean sheets this year and with the same percentage of inside the box of 78.2, unbelievable. Like, yes, there's been other Wolves players who can deserve Raul Jimenez, Ruben Neves, but at the end of the day, he's been unbelievable. And I feel like he's probably been the best goalkeeper this season. Yes, Alisson's been good. Yes, Edison's been good. David De Gea has been put through a lot of work, but he's been okay. With the Alisson and Edison, they have a great defense. So, like, when they make saves, they look cool. But with Jose Sa, it's constantly making saves. And you can see that ratio of a save percentage of 78.2 inside the box. He's so good with his feet. He can kick the ball. And I feel like next year he does a bit more well, he could get moved to another Premier League club. Yes, he's moved to 29. I feel like he's not given the respect he deserves. And I feel like he's probably going to be in the Premier League team of the season. I wanted him in the Premier League team of the season because, as I said, Alisson and Edison are good, but look at the defense of Wolves. It's not that good. They've been conceding goals after a while, but he's been saving them. And that's why Jose Sa deserves my Wolves Player of the Year. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Please, on this video, can you get 15 likes? Like, it's not a lot. Please like, subscribe, comment. Guys, please put all your favorite players from every Premier League teams this season. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Put in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and my next video is going to be all the worst Premier League players from every team. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.